The Quarry is a cinematic horror experience built around branching choices, tense survival scenarios, and a cast of characters whose fates rest entirely in your hands. If you finish playing this one and are after more choice-driven storytelling and interactive horror, you're in the right place. We've combed through the archives to bring you 10 standout games that capture the same tone, mechanics, and sense of challenge. As always, do let us know your favourites in the comments and which ones you've played. So without further ado, let's start the countdown. Until Dawn is a cinematic horror that drops a group of friends into an isolated mountain lodge where a reunion quickly spirals into a fight for survival. 1 year after a tragic disappearance, the group return to the same snowy retreat, only to discover that something far more sinister is waiting in the darkness. Players work to guide each character through a branching narrative, shaped by dialogue choices, quick reactions, and critical decisions made under pressure. Every action can ripple across the story, determining who survives the night and who doesn't. The motion controls and quick time events play a big role in maintaining tension, especially on PlayStation, while exploration segments reveal clues that deepen the mystery surrounding the mountain. Now, what makes Until Dawn so memorable is how confidently it leans into classic slasher tropes. The story plays out like an interactive horror film, complete with unexpected twists, memorable characters, and multiple endings. Combined with strong performances and cinematic presentation, it remains one of the most effective horror games ever made. Man of Medan follows a group of young friends embarking on what should be a relaxing diving trip in the South Pacific. Their adventure takes a sudden turn though when they stumble upon a mysterious ghost ship drifting in the open ocean. Naturally, they decide to go and explore. The story unfolds through a series of branching choices that determine how relationships evolve and which characters make it out alive. The dialogue decisions, exploration sequences, and quick time events all influence the narrative, with small actions like turning left or right down a hallway leading to drastically different outcomes. The abandoned ship itself becomes a key part of the experience too, with its narrow corridors and eerie atmosphere amplifying that sense of dread. While opinions vary across the Dark Pictures series, Man of Medan stands out as one of the best, thanks in part to its claustrophobic environment and unpredictable story twists. Heavy Rain is a psychological thriller built around the hunt for the mysterious origami killer, a criminal responsible for a series of child abductions, each killed using rainwater. The story follows 4 different protagonists who go on the hunt, each pursuing their own leads as they attempt to uncover the truth before another victim is claimed. Players experience the narrative from multiple perspectives in that respect, jumping between the core characters, with each offering a different piece of the larger mystery. The gameplay focuses on dialogue choices, exploration, and quick time events that place players directly inside every cinematic moment. While its pacing can be slower than some modern narrative games, especially with the riveting inclusion of washing dishes or pressing X to shout Jason, Heavy Rain still delivers an engaging mystery filled with twists and dramatic moments. Oxenfree is a supernatural indie thriller centered on a group of teenagers whose island getaway takes a disturbing turn. After accidentally opening a mysterious ghostly rift, Alex and her friends find themselves caught in a mystery that blurs the line between reality and the paranormal. Now, one of the game's most distinctive features is its natural conversation system, where dialogue unfolds in real time as characters explore the island. The choices subtly shape relationships and influence parts of the story too, while a unique radio mechanic allows players to tune into strange frequencies that reveal hidden clues and supernatural disturbances. The game's moody atmosphere and stylized art direction give this one a distinct identity in that respect, supported by a suitably haunting soundtrack. Compact but undeniably memorable, Oxenfree delivers a thoughtful narrative experience well worth checking out. Set in the same universe as Robert Kirkman's acclaimed comic series, The Walking Dead is a narrative-driven adventure well worth checking out. Players step into the role of Lee Everett, a man given an unexpected second chance at life when a zombie outbreak begins to spread across the country. The story unfolds episodically, with dialogue choices and time-sensitive decisions shaping both the narrative and the relationships between characters across the 5 chapters. Many of these moments force players to make difficult calls with very little time to think, adding tension as the world around them slowly collapses. What truly elevates the experience though is the emotional bond between Lee and Clementine, a young girl he vows to protect. The choices players make throughout the journey carry genuine weight, often leading to difficult moral dilemmas. Even to this day, this gem remains one of the most memorable games of its kind. The casting of Frank Stone is a cinematic horror that blends supernatural mystery with branching narrative storytelling. Set in a small town of Cedar Hills, the story follows a group of young friends who become entangled in a disturbing legacy of a long-dead serial killer whose influence continues to haunt the town. As the mystery unfolds, players guide multiple characters through tense situations where each decision can shape the outcome of the story. Dialogue choices, quick reactions, and exploration sequences gradually reveal how past events ripple through to the present. Like many narrative-driven horror games of its kind, survival is never guaranteed here, and the fate of each character rests entirely in your hands. What sets the casting of Frank Stone apart though, is its connection to the wider Dead by Daylight universe, introducing strange supernatural elements and unsettling twists that blur the boundaries between reality and nightmare. As Dusk Falls is an interactive drama that explores the intertwined lives of two families across several decades. Beginning with a robbery gone wrong in a small Arizona town during the late 90s, the story gradually unfolds into a sprawling narrative about loyalty, survival, and the consequence of long-buried secrets. Now, players shape the outcome of this story through a steady stream of dialogue choices and moral dilemmas. Both of these influence the direction of the story and the outcome of relationships between characters. Decisions made early on can echo throughout the narrative, creating vastly different outcomes depending on how events unfold. The game's distinctive visual style gives it the feel of a motion graphic novel, blending filmed performances with stylized artwork. Combined with its multi-perspective storytelling and branching narrative paths, As Dusk Falls delivers a compelling crime drama experience. Call of Cthulhu is a narrative-driven investigation steeped in the cosmic horror of H.P. Lovecraft's mythos. Set in 1924, players take on the role of a private investigator called Edward Pierce, who's sent to examine the mysterious death of the Hawkins family on the remote Darkwater Island. What begins as a routine case soon spirals into something far more unsettling, drawing Pierce into a world of cult activity, strange experiments, and ancient entities lurking beyond human comprehension. The exploration and detective work form the backbone of your playtime here, with players piecing together clues through conversations, environmental storytelling, and careful observation. The oppressive atmosphere and creeping sense of paranoia really help to reinforce the game's Lovecraftian tone, creating a slow-burning mystery where nothing can be fully trusted. Stories Untold is an experimental narrative adventure that blends multiple gameplay styles into one single eerie anthology. Presented as a collection of 4 interconnected episodes, the game gradually builds a psychological horror that unfolds through text-based puzzles, retro computer interfaces, and atmospheric exploration. Each episode introduces a different gameplay concept, ranging from classic text adventure commands to investigative puzzle solving using strange electronic equipment. While the mechanics shift between chapters, the story slowly begins to connect the dots between each seemingly unrelated chapter. The retro presentation plays a huge role in this game's identity, drawing heavily from 90s-80s technology and horror aesthetic. Combined with its synth-heavy soundtrack and unsettling storytelling, Stories Untold delivers a distinctive narrative experience that constantly keeps players guessing about what is really happening beneath the surface. The Council is a narrative-driven adventure built around political intrigue, secret societies, and psychological manipulation. Set in 1793, the story follows Louis de Richet, a member of a mysterious organisation who travels to a private island determined to investigate the disappearance of his mother. When he arrives, he finds himself surrounded by influential historical figures, which include Napoleon Bonaparte and George Washington. Each of the characters here hide their own secrets and motivations. As the investigation unfolds, you navigate tense conversations, hidden agendas, and dangerous alliances. What makes the council particularly distinctive though is its social influence system, which transforms dialogue into strategic confrontations. Skills, knowledge and careful preparation can all be used to manipulate or steer conversations in a certain direction, gaining the upper hand during critical moments. With permanent consequences tied to each decision you make, the story constantly evolves based on how players choose to approach the unfolding mystery. This one is definitely worth checking out if you haven't already. So there you have it, 10 games to keep you busy after finishing The Quarry. So what did you think of our picks? Do you agree? Are there any notable omissions, or do you think we're way off the mark? Either way, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.